Welcome to this week's Rise with Michelle. The miracle is not what you think it is. I want to start with a question today. What if the miracle you've been waiting for isn't something that shows up one day, but something you can touch right now? So I heard a line recently, go get your miracle. And I carried it with me through the rest of the day, along with some other phrases. And at the time, I was dealing with another setback in my body. And after years of living with chronic Lyme and co-infections, I've learned that healing isn't a straight line. And some days you feel like you're moving forward. Some days you feel like you're right back where you started. And that day I was tired in a deeper way, and not just in my body, but in my sense of direction. So when I heard that line, I didn't hear it as a motivation. I heard it as a question. What would a miracle even look like for me right now? And at first, my mind went to the big things, feeling better, having answers, getting certainty. But what I noticed instead was something much smaller. I still had a choice. I couldn't choose what my body was doing that day. I couldn't choose what the next lab result would say. And I couldn't choose how long the season would last. But I could choose how I met it. And that's when it hit me that maybe the miracle isn't the moment everything changes. Maybe it's the moment you realize you still get to lead yourself through what hasn't. This is where something I work with comes in, and I call it MUD, misguided unconscious decisions. At some point in life, we all learn how to be, how to belong, how to stay safe, how to stay needed, how to stay connected. And we made quiet decisions about who we should be in order to survive what we're in. And over time, those decisions stop feeling like choices. They actually become our identity. So instead of choosing, we just react. Or instead of noticing, we default. Instead of leading ourselves, we let an old version of us step forward and run the moment. And what I discovered in my own life is that I could understand myself really well and still do the same things. I could explain my patterns, I could tell my story, I could name my tendencies, and still, when it matters, the same part of me would just show up and take the lead. And what changed things for me wasn't about learning more, it was paying attention differently. I stopped asking, why am I like this? And I started asking, who is leading me right now? What version of me? The question changes everything because once you can see who is leading, you can choose whether they still need to. And this is what I mean when I talk about the rewrite, rewire, and retrain phases. Because rewrite is about noticing the story you're living from. And rewire is catching the moment it tries to run the show. And retrain is choosing again and again to respond from somewhere new. Not necessarily perfect, not all at once, just consistently. And over time, you start to feel something shift. You can feel the difference between the part of you that steps forward out of familiarity and the part of you that steps forward with it. And you step forward with awareness. And this is where I stand in my work. I'm not here to fix you. I walk with people who feel like they're living in the in between. They're not necessarily falling apart, they're not fully free, most often surviving more than thriving. And I walk with them as they learn to notice which part of them keeps stepping forward first and what becomes possible when a different part is allowed to lead a different story. So I'll leave you with this. The miracle is not the absence of the struggle. It's the moment you realize you still get to choose who you are inside of it. So if this stayed with you today, just notice one moment where you feel yourself react and ask gently, who just stepped forward? And that's where choice begins. See you next week, same space, same heart. Until then, remember you're not broken, you're in the in between and still rising.